Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 2 of The Year That Never Was. We're launching up. Nice to see you all. I know you're here for only one guy, really, maybe one and a half, if I'm generous. So, hello to everyone on 1960. I guarantee you will have a better view this month than you had last month. Anybody here that was watching on video last time? Okay, so you all know, and some of you may have been the ones that sent me lovely notes about not being able to see any of the speakers, that what you got to see was what was ever up on the screen, which you'll notice is not down. And you'll also notice that I'm back to killing trees. We're going to try something next month to maybe avoid some of the tree killing by sending out an agenda in advance. And I've also been asked a couple of times today to do something about increasing the font. So I'll do that too. And hopefully by the time we get to October, we'll have this approximately right. I hope that's the goal. I noticed that we have one of the new neighbors that was not here last time, made the trek from the 500s to see us. So I want to welcome Eddie Smith right over here. Any other new residents that I didn't see? Oh, welcome. Good to see you. How are you? Bob, welcome. Bob Wolf, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Welcome. Good to have you here. So we're going back to a more typical agenda this time with some changes. You're going to hear some committee reports, but the number will be limited. And the idea is to try to preserve as much time as we can for Yannick and for Chef and for your questions. That's really the point. So that's what we're going to try. We'll see how it goes. I listed the major projects that we're still contemplating that are on the agenda for you, which includes phases 2 and 3 of the lodge interior refresh. We won't be doing both sets of those this year. You'll hear more about that as the year goes on from Yannick. We are in the process of working on a bylaws update. And the process there, because it's going to be a little different, is the resident council has received a draft copy and will be providing feedback on the draft copy. Once council is satisfied and we reach a consensus on it, it will be distributed to each of the committee chairs. And we will have a work session with the committee chairs to try to address their questions, make sure we've covered all that. Then it will go to a vote of the entire community, and we will have a couple of sessions for you all. If you wish to come, if you have questions or want to get clarification on something, that will be the time to do it. And optimistically, what we hope to do is finish all that and have a vote before Memorial Day, if we can do it. If we can't, we're not going to worry too much about it. We'll pick it up right after Labor Day. But the idea would be to get it in place, and you'll learn more about that as we go on. I won't bog us down for that. The Employee Appreciation Fund, which you heard Steve Brown report, the tremendous results that we had last year, and we're looking to try to do that again this year, maybe bump it a little bit. And the Foundation Scholarship Campaign, which is another critically important project, which you will also be hearing more about. But those are the ones we want to keep in the headlights, and there may be some that change and are added, or we finish and drop off. But that's kind of the 4 horsemen that we're going to really try to focus on this year. A couple of other brief comments. I wanted to acknowledge Connie Sonnenberg, who has taken over as chair of the CIC committee. Bob Steele stepped down and promptly went on a cruise. So he's probably having more fun than Connie is right about now, but we appreciate you stepping up to do that. Good committee and a lot of good stuff coming. So Connie, thank you. The April open meeting, Yannick did a nice job of providing us with a summary of who from the cabinet will be coming to these meetings in the future, so you can decide if this is one you want to come down for, watch it on television, or blow it off altogether. Totally your call. But in April, it'll be Yannick and Robert Davis from engineering. I know none of you have any questions for Robert, so that may be lightly attended. I wanted to acknowledge, particularly coming off of this weekend with so many activities here, that the staff did such a good job with the spring fling and the mix and mingle. 2 days in a row, really special mention, I think, to the dining and the kitchen staff for providing all of that food in 2 days and having some fun with it. Really applaud the dining and kitchen teams for that. And it's important that I acknowledge we had a very successful grill master at work yesterday, and Renee Bracamonte. If you didn't see, Ray did all the grill work. Thanks, Renee. And finally, another little mention that may now be old news, I'm not sure, but Rose Hollis, who you all know from our front desk area, has been promoted to supervisor in resident services. So she'll be overseeing a number of areas, and you're going to get more information about that with her specific duties. But so many people have commented on what a delight Rose is and what a wonderful job she's been doing. So if you see her, make sure you acknowledge and congratulate her on that very, very richly deserved promotion. So all of that in 6 minutes. Now we're going to preserve some time for you guys. You got an hour and a half. So, no. So Yannick, you want to lead off? What? No, we're not going to do the, no, I'm kidding. Go with me, Peggy, go with me. Bob. Here's Art. It's Bob for Art, get it?
Bob for apples. Good afternoon, you all. I would also like to welcome our new residents, Eddie Smith, who happens to be my next door neighbor in 511, and Bob Wolf, who I just met on the elevator, and Chef. Welcome. Good afternoon. You all may recall when I last reported to you, it was in January. It was to outline the goals for the art committee for the year. The first item was the status of our curio cabinet. For the benefit of our newer residents, we used to have a curio cabinet out in the bar area in which we displayed three-dimensional art items and various collections that some of our residents had. So it disappeared when the bar was put in there, but I have great news to share. Yannick has promised us space for not one, but two built-in curio cabinets. They will be installed on the main floor in each of the archives. I mean, each of the, sorry, alcoves, that one there and one over there. They're to be included in the next phase of the remodel, probably late this year or early next year. And thank you very much. In my January report, I also mentioned our plans for a Korean War and maybe even to include the Vietnam War exhibit for much later this year. Now there's hope that it will be the first display in our new curio cabinets. So again, I want to thank you, Yannick, and also our resident liaison member, Tom. Thank you for your help in recommending and arranging for this project. There are two other items included in our goals for a year. A new art display venue utilizing the flat screen TV in the bar, bless you. It's turned out to be a little bit more complicated than we anticipated. There are formatting and sizing and clarity issues, but we're still working on it and hope to have something that we can be proud of to share with all the residents at V. The last item was an artist reception, which was held on Valentine's Day. We had 20 residents who joined 8 artists from our committee who had a variety of pieces on display in the resident art gallery next to the Prickly Pear Cafe. Each of us discussed our work, how and when we got started, and other things of interest. I think everybody enjoyed what we had to say. As it turned out, that display was one of our most successful. We received lots of compliments and positive feedback from residents and guests, ensuring that we now all have renewed inspiration and motivation to produce even more beautiful art. Speaking of which, I do hope everybody's had a chance to look at the new exhibit of resident John Harlan's outstanding travel photography. If you haven't, make sure you exit out next to the resident gallery and take a look at it. It's really terrific. The fact that he mounts the photographs on canvas frames really adds to their interest and beauty. I have one more final item to report. As you may know, we also have art display space in the care center for residents and guests in assisted living and elsewhere in the care center. For the next couple of months, we will be featuring art pieces that have been done by care center residents themselves. This is a first. And I'm delighted to report that there is a growing number of assisted living residents who are actively participating in art projects and who are being supported by Art Committee member Doris Freenack and the Care Center Lifestyle Manager Autumn Davis. That concludes my report for this month. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Very good. Thanks, Bob. We have a guest speaker for Building and Grounds who is very familiar to you all. Cam Sharp is the chair this year and is a little under the weather. So bringing him back for one more reunion tour, Ed Vickers.
Okay, and as Wynn said, I'm pinch hitting, so we had our B&G meeting this morning, 11 o'clock. In fact, you're sitting in probably some of the chairs we were sitting in as well. We challenged engineering to see if they could turn that room around for you guys, and looks like they made it, so that's good. Okay, we had 224 rounds of scheduled golf this last in February, and it was reported that the course is in very, very good condition. In our landscaping, you'll notice all of our little mushrooms are starting to bloom. They're coming to life. So they really will be looking really, really good. So as you walk around, take a look at all the flowers starting to pop out. Wynn grabbed the acknowledgement of Rose Hollins, who joined us this morning with Jason, and Jason did introduce her as his new #1 assistant. So please, if you see her, give her an atta girl. She's really done a great job. Also, they reported on the Amazon lockers, and some of you all might have already got a message that you got something here to pick up. But don't worry, if you don't have an Amazon account, there's lots and lots of help to help you get that sorted out. So this will not only be for the Amazon products, but evidently could expand to almost any kind of delivery service like USPS or in any of the other services that in our community that sign up for it. So it could really grow to cover a lot of different delivery services, which will help especially the concierge and the valet folks for not having to run around and deliver all the packages. Monique shared with us that we have some new furniture for the 500 patio area, and she will be installing that sometime in April. And when she gets that all put together, she'll put out an alert in the update, so you'll know that this is out there and it's for everyone's use, not just the 500s in the care center, but for the community. She also reported that she's going to put together, she and Jennifer, there's been a lot of work on trying to sort out work orders and following up on work orders and getting responses from, sometimes verbal messages and not work orders type of thing. So she's working to put something together which will make sense so that everybody will know not only how to put them in, but also how to follow up and get your answers if you haven't received an answer. So she's going to work on that. In engineering, we also confirmed today that the refresh period for those of you that are approaching that point in time There is a 2021 listing of guidelines for that program, and it was confirmed that that is still in place. It will be attached to our minutes, so if you would like to go and, see what it is exactly, they'll be in Touchtown or in the two meeting books in the library or in a mailroom. Also, there's an ongoing project. We've had some curb issues where the slope where they go down, and sometimes turn, and people maybe kind of in dusk type of not dark, but between, so maybe sunset kind of thing, that there's been concern about some tripping potential. So they're working on trying to resolve that and make it a little more clear where we don't, have any issues with resident safety. The next meeting will be April 15th, right here in this room. So thanks, and just pinch hitting for Cam. You all have a great day.
Thanks, Ed. Next up is dining. Lisa will know.
You make me laugh. Good afternoon. Our monthly meeting was held on March 2nd, and our notes are available online and in the library. The highlight of our meeting was welcoming Chef Ray and getting to know him and to begin working with you. I hope everyone has thanked Greg and dining and culinary staff for a wonderful, fun-filled weekend, beginning with dress down day and ending with the spring fling. They certainly outdid themselves. A few reminders from our meeting. The friendship table is not being utilized as much as we hoped after the remodel. For new residents, the table is available on Monday and Friday evenings at 5:30 with prior reservations. It gives you a chance to meet other new residents or not so new ones. If there is not more participation, Greg will have to disband the table in the near future. Also, if two people happen to show up at the Alpenglow with a reservation and there are two others waiting to be seated, if there is room, you can ask to be seated together if you'd like to make it a table of 4, as the servers welcome a larger table than two tops. If you are in a longer line at the cafe and want to look at the menu, just go up to the server taking orders and they will give you one and you can get back in line. There is a new wine insert in the Alpenglow menus. They show the wine specials of the week as well as upcoming events from dining. And last, 1 person equals 1 meal equals 1 meal credit. Couples cannot split a meal in Prickly Pear or the bar and use only 1 meal credit. In the bar, 2 or more items equal 1 meal credit per person. If you want to split in these venues, you can do à la carte. Greg has checked with the other Vs, and this is their practice. So if you share, it will be 2 meal credits. And please, if you have a problem with your meal in the dining rooms, please address it right then and there with the staff. They are there to fix the problem. Our upcoming events will be the Barbecue and Blues on March 28th and our Easter brunch on March 31st. As always, practice the golden rule and bon appetit.
Batting cleanup, Peggy Jordy, Program Committee.
Good afternoon. I'm a co-chair of the program committee, and most of the things are out, almost all the things are on the calendar. So it would pay you to look at the calendars and sign up in the app or in the app if you want to attend. We are having some functions that are overbooking. So even if you're on the wait list, don't despair. Most of the time there's cancellations from the main list, and lots of times you can get bumped up into the regular list. So just want to mention a few of the things that are coming up. Our 25th anniversary party is this year. It's hard to believe that we're going to have a good 25th anniversary party because we don't have anything closed and we don't have any renovation at the moment. So it's October 22nd. You might want to put that on your calendar as a save the date. And the staff is and program committee is looking to make a really great party for that day. And there's going to be other activities during the week to celebrate the anniversary as well. Our subcommittee, we have several subcommittees, and one of our subcommittees is to invest or to get new activities. And so some of the activities that we're going out to, I'll just mention them quickly. March 25th, we're going to be looking at wildflowers at the Lost Dutchman Park. April 5th, we're going to Boyce Thompson Arboretum to see a collection of desert plants from around the world. August 8th, there's a bus that's going to take us to Fountain Hills for the groundbreaking of the Dark Skies Discovery Center. And then there's also going to be glasses and a screen that we can watch the eclipse that's happening at that particular time. This is on April 8th. All of these things are in the book and are in the website to sign up for. On the 14th, April 14th, we're going to Canyon Lake on Dolly Steamboat. This is going to be a dinner. It's going to be in the evening or dusk. Again, sign up. There is a wait list on that, but we're trying to establish, we're partnering with Silverstone. And so we're trying to establish exactly how many people that our group can attend. So sign up, even if it's on the wait list, and we'll see what we can do. And then on our April 26th, we're going to the Arizona Humane Society to view their newly completed campus. They had come here, maybe a month ago to speak to us about their facility, and it sounds like a really nice facility for, pets. Our in-house activities are also going strong. There's various card games, majority rules, beanbag toss, bocce ball, and many of these things are available. All of these things are available to all residents. Just sign up. If you have any questions, ask the person that would be in charge or Karen and I. April is Stress Awareness Month, and to celebrate it, Lifestyle is offering traditional yoga available in the Akatia room every Saturday at 1 p.m. And there's a Tuesday tea time at the bar. This is tea, not alcohol. I wanted to make that clear. And it's going to be in the bar room to discuss the relaxing benefits of drinking tea, and that's at 2 p.m. As a reminder, residents can sign up for activities even if there is a maximum number, because if you're on the wait list, you're going to probably be bumped up, so don't be discouraged. The other thing we'd like to discuss a little bit is the fact that we're having a problem with the bus. We're having people sign up for the bus and not show up, or we're having people not sign up for the bus and show up to go to the activities. We need to have accurate accounts so we know which bus we're going to be taking and if there's enough for the bus, enough people going on the bus. So if you sign up, make sure if you're change your plans and don't go to take your name off of the sign up list. And if you are assuming that you're on the bus, but have not gotten kind of notifications prior to the bus leaving, you need to call Renee or Joe when she comes back to make sure that you are scheduled on that bus, because there's been conflicts both ways. And we need to straighten this out, because we've had occasions where 14 or 15 people have signed up for the bus, which is fine, and 6 or 8 show up because the rest of the people have not bought tickets, they're not going for some reason and not taken their name off of the list. So we need you to be courteous and we need you to be accurate. Now, hopefully there are some activities or all of the activities that many of you can participate in. As always, if anyone has any suggestions, please contact Karen Brown or I, and we can see if we can make it happen. Sincerely, Peggy.
Thanks, Peggy. Appreciate it. Wanted to acknowledge Carol Ward is here, is the president of the Care Center Resident Council. So appreciate you being here. And Carol was a guest at our last closed meeting. This was an extension I mentioned last time of our desire to make sure that the Care Center and independent living are more connected. We're all part of the same community and we all want to make sure that we acknowledge that. That's what Bob's great work with the art committee on getting some new artwork over there. And also want to acknowledge that on our Care Center committee, Barb Eckelmeyer is the chair and Dave Lemire is the liaison. So thanks to them for their good work as well. With that, Mr. Executive Director, floor is yours.
All right. So maybe the first thing we should do, I brought our new executive chef with all of us, and maybe we can give him a couple of minutes to, is this okay for Chef to do quick introductions and then I'll come back to the pulpit and just I have a few things and then we can take some questions for the rest of the meeting. So on a variety of topics, there's if you've had something on your mind recently, and hopefully we can help resolve the question that you have. So obviously we have a culinary approach today. Next month, I'll be here with Robert Davis. And then the month after we have, I forget, but we have, I won't be here because I'll have a town hall and more on that in a minute, but we'll turn the time over to Chef Ray here just for some quick introductions.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Chef Ray Anderson. I've been in the industry for roughly around 35 years professionally. Have a family restaurant up northern Arizona, Payson, Arizona. It's been there since '62. I short-lived the Princess, the Fairmont. I was there in the early '90s under Chef Robert. And then I short-lived Biltmore for probably about a year and a half. And I did a little bit of Palo Alto, California for, about another year and a half there and did some California cooking there. Mainly just industry cooking, a lot of banquet cooking. Majority of my career has been at hotels. So I do a lot of banquets and I did a lot of fine dining. I was chef de cuisine for the Palm Court in Scottsdale, Arizona, which you guys are, a lot of you are familiar with. I did that for 14 years. So a lot of food, a lot of banquet food. We did last year at the hotel that I was at, we did 24 million in F&B alone with only 320 rooms. So we were shelling out a lot of food. But for the most part, that's what I love to do. That's my passion. That's what I really like to do. I did want to get out of the hotel industry because it's a quick pace, very fast, in a group, out of group, in a group, out of group. And I wanted to get more personable and back to making food really count. And that's where this kind of living is exactly where I can create more and hopefully bring more food or better food to the table. Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
He wants questions now, go for it.
Go ahead. We're currently working on some of it right now. There's a lot of the menus that are already set in stone are, we're dissecting and going through what are the dogs and what we're going to take off. We don't just strip the whole menu and start from scratch. We got to actually pick them out and slowly dissect them. So it's going to take a bit. And currently I'm still doing a lot of onboarding. So I've had roughly about, I would say 9 hours of actual culinary since I've been here. So, but it's getting there and we're starting to dissect them already. Marco and I also have Chef Shuby. We're all working collaboratively to try to get that all in line. It's going to take some time for all the menus to be done correctly. But slowly but surely, we're going to add and implement each item periodically. It won't be a complete change. We're going to keep on just throwing out new stuff. Yes.
Hi,
Hi.
my question is, I have a group and we come to eat on Sunday,
Mhm.
which was called a brunch. I don't know what you call it now, lunch, whatever. It's late in the morning, whatever. Anyway, now on the menu, they've got all these dinner items like steak and whatever. There's no bread on the table. There are no muffins on the table. I would love it if you could get back to making omelets because they've got plenty of omelet space in the kitchen there.
Mhm.
And it just needs renovating a lot, I think. We've been very disappointed in our choices.
Our brunch is à la carte, correct?
No, it's
So is it a buffet?
well, no, it used to be a buffet. Now it's, you go in and sit down and get a menu.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
menu, I have a problem
We need to
with.
work on the brunch menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll look into that as soon as I can get to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Griffin, hold on one second.
Any specialties that,
Majority of the food that I've trained in is just American cuisine with a French flair. But our restaurant up in Payson, half my family comes from Detroit, the other half comes from Minnesota. Majority of the cooking I learned from my mother was Italian. I do love cooking Italian, but I haven't done a lot of Italian cooking in the last decade or so. But American cuisine is traditionally what we focus on, and we'll probably maintain and keep that up to standard.
all right, thanks.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Chef. I think I've told the group previously, this search was actually very interesting. With the labor market condition, I thought that we would get very few applications for the position, and we ended up with about 150. That's a lot, all executive chefs, not people wanting to be. So people from all over the country. And of course, we had some of these candidates that didn't pan out fairly quickly for a reason or another. But I think in the end, we interviewed this. So this was a search that Willow and I focused on about 20 candidates or so initially, and then we reduced our pool to 4. And obviously, we have some important metrics, right? Being able to produce good food is obviously high on the list. But you also need someone that has good management skills because there's a lot of people in that kitchen. And this is really about executive capacities, being able to run an operation. And Chef Ray really stood out in many of these. There were some candidates that I was very surprised, high education, high experience, and just did not pan out when it came to some of these important metrics, management being one of them. So we're glad to have Chef Ray with us. He's well known in the region, in the area here in Scottsdale. Prior to him coming to V, we've hired some folks that had worked with him in the past. So we have a handful of those currently in the kitchen. So it's been sort of a reunion and a team that's gelling early on together. So we're excited about that. We don't have, I was out Thursday, Friday, but I don't think, did we have any new open positions over the weekend?
No.
All right, it goes that fast. So we don't have any open positions currently in the kitchen, which is great. So we're still adjusting post remodel. And as you'll recall, we reopened Prickly Pear, the bar, and Alpenglow, and then Chef's predecessor left us fairly quickly. And so there's still some adjustments that are coming from that when it comes to staffing. But we're looking forward to a good year in culinary. Just a couple of items here before we take questions. as it was mentioned during the meeting, we now have the Amazon hubs that are on site. Jason Halvai is the program manager for this. So he's very good with systems. And he told me before coming to the meeting that we have between 70 and 80 residents who've already signed up and activated their hubs account. So it's not complex, it's fairly simple. If you have an Amazon account, in the future, we have these boxes. You've probably seen them already. They're across from the concierge desk. Go and take a peek after the meeting if you have not seen them yet, but it's very clean. It's a wall of boxes. And now when you receive a package at the community, it's going to be stored in one of those boxes. And so if you have an Amazon account, when you receive a package, you'll just receive a notification on your mobile device, on a tablet or a laptop, wherever you order your items from Amazon, and you're going to be provided with a code. So feel free at your convenience to come down to the hubs room. You just put in your code, and then one of the doors will pop open by magic, and your package should be in there. If all the doors open, run away. That shouldn't happen. We do understand that there will be a learning curve. So we obviously, just in a few hours, I've had 80 or so of you who have already activated. It's very simple. It's also secure. We've had a couple residents voicing concerns about sharing emails and personal information. There's nothing new to Amazon. When you sign up initially for an Amazon account, you have to provide an email address. So there's nothing new to them. And so we are working together. The community, for most of you, already has email addresses. So it should be, there's nothing new there. So over the course of the next days and weeks, if you have an issue with activating the hub service, which is no cost, all right? Here at the community, feel free to go to the front desk. We will have Renee Bracamonte and Jason right after this meeting. I should say 3 p.m. It's right outside the Ocotillo room, right, Renee? They'll be here. If you have any questions, they'll be here to help you out. And also we'll conduct a few sessions later this week with some of the concierge in a, like, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's Acacia, the Acacia room, where you can just come in and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me out? It really takes 2 minutes to do. This will really help the community. I've shown a photo in a previous town hall on a certain day where I think we had over 100 packages. They're all lined up at the entrance. It's small as it is. And now we won't have that step. It will go directly into the hub's lockers. And so this will help for the concierge to spend time directly with residents or people who are calling in or visitors. And it provides a layer of security also when it comes to lost packages. We haven't really had this issue at the community here, but in other communities, more frequently than here, you'll have a lost package, and so it'll be easier for security wise. We do invite you to, usually when you order something, you're excited to get it, so you don't leave it in the box for too long, but we do invite you to come in somewhat quickly to get it, because tomorrow there's more packages arriving, and the day after, more packages. So, and I think we have, I forget the exact number, but I think there's a little over 100 of these units. So even during the holidays, we should be able to contain all deliveries daily. If we go over, we'll figure this out when we get there. But so it should be neat. It's a little bit more technology. And I think in a month or two, everybody's going to enjoy just going at your convenience. You know, if you come home one night late and you're arriving, you can just grab it on your way home. And then if you need help and assistance with a package, we're still here for that. There's going to be no changes. So, all right. The curio cabinets, thank you for bringing this up. And just to specify, they are, and we will have new curio cabinets. Of course, we don't have them yet, and it's part of the planned remodel. They are planned to be right above the glass doors here, one on each side. All right, so the previous curio cabinet is in storage. We have tried to repurpose it, but the piece of furniture has just gotten really old. It is cracked when we moved it last time, so we're going to have to dispose of it. Unfortunately, it's no longer safe. But the new ones will be there. We'll have hopefully about the same space that we had, but in 2 units. And it will be resident art displayed on the main level, which I think is great. I love the resident art. And so this was, several people had this idea, and I'm glad we can do this. So finally, I wanted to discuss the remodel phase 2. So just like phase 1, it's going to be rolled out in the middle of the month of April. So it's coming fairly quickly. We're going to have 2 initial meetings, one's with community management, so with the cabinet mainly, where RSB and who is the contractor, the local design contractor for V, will be coming in also with the corporate designers to present what they have for phase 2. So the design development is almost finished. They'll be here in a little less than a month. And just like with phase 1, again, we will have a similar meeting with the group of residents who have participated to some extent with comments, questions, suggestions. We'll invite, I'm counting a lot of residents who participated in this, but this usually for a smaller group, like 15 residents or so. And we'll have sample boards and obviously some slides to show how the corridors will look like in the lobby and some of the other areas too that will be in phase 3. So that's a library and the information center, conference rooms, and some other minor, smaller areas of the community. So we'll have all this in the month of April. And then at my town hall the following month in May, I will probably spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes of my town hall presenting this to the community in general. When do we plan on starting? Usually there are construction plans that are required before we start a remodel. Now for the corridors, because there's no modification, structural modifications, we probably will be able to start at some point during the summer to do corridors. During phase 1, we underestimated a little bit the impact on residents. And so corridors will be fairly simple. There may be disruption for a week or so when it comes to individual residents, meaning they will be replacing the carpet and the repainting and furniture. It'll take about a week where your general area will be worked on. And then, of course, the workers will be moving on to other areas, other corridors, other floors. So it will have a minimal impact. But the lobby refurbishing or remodeling will have an impact. So we're looking at dates for this. We want to be as fast as we can, but also we want craft to be high quality. So more to come on that. I'm anticipating probably a later year for the lobby, but we do want to get this done as soon as possible. So just a couple of items. I know there's nothing really exciting. I guess remodeling is exciting, but just some items here for today, and Chef and I can take any questions you might have. Yep, Peggy.
Ms. Jordy.
If you could repeat the questions.
How are you going to
Thank you.
do the corridors? Are you going to do one wing, all 3 floors? You're going to do one floor all the way around? How's this going to work for scheduling?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. Thank you. Generally, we're going to be doing paint work and carpet fairly close together. Usually logistically, that's what makes most sense. There are other ways to do it, but so we would be painting, removing old, the artwork first and prepping the areas. There may be some ceiling work to be done before, but usually they would paint. And then in the next couple of days, they would remove the carpet, the pad and carpet. In the case of our community, there's some concrete areas that will need to be addressed. So this will cause probably a little bit more work to be done, a couple more days where they have to apply some concrete patches in some areas, and then they put the new carpet. And that's pretty much it. The furniture and the artwork usually will arrive once we're done with carpet and paint. So some folks may have bare walls for instance, where we start, the walls will be bare for a little bit longer. Usually all the furniture arrives on the same day and it's all installed. It'll take 2 or 3 days probably to do that. But that's usually the logistics. I'm thinking here at the most 2 to 3 months for that project, all corridors. So it goes fairly fast. It's slower at first. The workers will learn how things work here and they'll get, there's a learning curve, but they learn pretty quick, then it moves on. So good question. Oh, yes, we'll give you notice. No problem. Yep.
Is the present art going to be replaced?
I'm sorry?
Is the present art hanging on the walls in the corridors going to be replaced, or is it going to be new art?
So some will be replaced, some will be kept and relocated. So we do have a list of art pieces. There's been some work done by residents, which our corporate designers do have. So each piece of art gets assessed, so to speak, or evaluated at this time. And if the frame is good, there are some things that need to be assessed in order to be kept. They may look good, but then in 2 years, they'll fall apart. So this will cause some issues. So whatever we can keep, we will keep and relocate. There may be a few pieces that just would not work with our new design. So this may be a choice also made to remove. But I think we can probably expect a significant portion of our artwork to be kept and relocated, meaning if you've had the painting of a sunset near your apartment, this will go for sure. It won't stay there. And it may find itself on the other side of the community on a different floor where you may not see it ever again, but it has remained. So I'm sure that as we get closer to corridor work, I'll get numbers on that. And I don't mind communicating this. So of course, the goal, we want to save what can work in the future and save money as well, because artwork is very expensive. And also we don't want to have issues in 2 or 3 years of doing another round of artwork because we have some that's just falling apart. So thank you. Yes, next question.
I have a two-part question, one for you, Yannick, and then one for Chef. This is to follow up on the remodel for the corridors. Will the lighting fixtures be replaced?
So do you mean by your
By
door, like
each
the
apartment.
sconces? Yes, the sconces are replaced. So the scope is artwork, furniture, paint, carpet pads, some concrete work, light sconces. There will be some areas of the ceiling also that will be redone, some areas, and also some electrical in the ceiling, not everywhere, but in some areas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chef, a two-pronged question for you. I'm encouraged that you say part of your experience is with American cooking. And one of my little peeves with the current menu is that there's sauce on everything. And I was wondering if maybe that could be modified.
You would like to have less sauce?
Less sauce.
Okay,
Or no sauce, depending on the menu item.
okay.
And then the second one is, and this is jumping way ahead, but in the future, do you see you scheduling tours of the kitchen at some point in time?
Having you come actually into the kitchen?
Yeah,
Absolutely. At one point, it can't be a lot of people at one time, because it is a workplace. And there's a lot of messy floors periodically, and there's a lot of danger in kitchens. But absolutely, controlled, walkthroughs, absolutely, no problem at all.
I'm always amazed at the staff and what you turn out from that limited space that you have.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
It is, it's fun. It's a challenge.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You had the right answer on this. We haven't discussed kitchen tours, him and I, so, but we'll continue to do that. Just to add to your question here, in the kitchen this year, we're doing phase 2 of the kitchen flooring, which we started last year, as you recall. So we're already in some preliminary discussions for this. And so, but that should take probably 2 weeks, so we can plan kitchen tours around that remodeling. And for those who haven't seen the kitchen yet, if you come for the tours, you will see, we have 2 types of flooring in there. It looks a little odd. We have the original tiles with the grout, and then we have our new product, which is, it's a very thin plastic layer that's anti-grip. There's very little grout areas, very easy to maintain, anti-slip. It's just great for everybody. So we're going to do phase 2 of 3 this year, just as an FYI.
Going back to the art, will you be repurposing any of the art that was in the dining room and the cafe? Will you be bringing that up into the corridors?
So my belief is that we still have a few of these pieces. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer on the specifics. We still have a few of these. They may find their way back onto some of the corridors, but I'm not sure.
I'd like to see that. There's some very good pieces that were down there and should be used.
Right.
Right. And a question for a chef. Will you be bringing back chef's dinners? Chef's dinners. It's something we've had in the past and most enjoyed.
We do plan on bringing that back. We definitely plan on bringing that back. Thank you. Good question.
Just wanted to reassure everyone on that when they do the carpet replacement, we lived through it in the care center. And it really did not disrupt things at all. I was amazed at how when they went to cut up the old carpet, they do it in strips and take it up, and it was amazing. So I think within a short period of time, a couple of weeks, I think we went 2 to 3 weeks at the most to do the whole thing.
Thank you for sharing your experience on this. And a little more on the care center. We are starting soon to remodel the dining rooms in skilled nursing. So I think it's starting in the month of April. So it should be a quick project, but still we're due for that area in the care center. Just wanted to share that tidbit. So it's another capital projects. I see a hand on my left.
Can you refresh for us, please, what corporate's marketing strategy was in changing the name of either the care center or the memory care center, and which one is going to be replaced with a name? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, well, here's the, we've discussed that so it's our memory care unit, right? So we've been using the term memory, and memory units in the industry have become very personalized to organizations. And we've had some of this for a number of years. For instance, I remember in 2014, I was part of a V group where we came up with the pillars of our memory unit's philosophies. One of them is resident stories. So V Memory Cares have a special approach to resident histories. We want our staff to know what the residents have done throughout their lives. It makes a big difference in how you render care for somebody with dementia. If they were a plumber, or if they were a CEO of a small company, or if they traveled a lot. And so we never gave it a name. And so we came around to this, and the new name, as we've announced, is Canvas, which it's easier than Alpenglow, right? And so it's still a memory care unit, but if you hear the word Canvas, and what it means really at the onset, when you see a canvas, you see yes, paintings, but when you just see the canvas, it means that you have a blank canvas and you can really personalize your approach to care. The canvas is threaded with numerous fibers, or I'm not sure, I'm not an artist, I don't know, please save me. Canvas is threaded with fibers, or I'm not sure what it is. And so is our approach. It's threaded with these different pillars, and that our staff is getting trained on. So we wanted to name it, and Canvas seemed to have been the name. So some people will like it. I see some heads nodding like this, and then I see heads nodding like that. So thank you for sharing your opinion. But it's the name. All of the V Memory Cares are Canvas by V, so the name will become integral over time. It's a bit of a change, but the purpose is really to have a brand, because memory cares have been exploding, all these services throughout the nation. Also, we have emphasized a relationship with the Alzheimer's Association of America, a national organization. They get donations, and with these donations, they try to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to care in these units. So we do use some of their trainings, and we do want to keep a tight relationship with them, because we do believe they will be beneficial. So we will march in November as a staff. We had a little event on Friday. Thank you for allowing the staff. If you saw them wearing jeans or a polo shirt or something a little different, they made a donation of $3 out of their own will to the association. We'll have a few more of these throughout the year. We want to raise a little bit of money for the association and participate in the great initiative of providing better memory care for people with dementia, Alzheimer's related diseases. So thank you. Good question. I have time for one more. It's almost 3 o'clock.
My husband was in memory care for a month. It was wonderful. The people were wonderful. They couldn't be any better. It was so unbelievable. Oh, it was unbelievable. I couldn't have done better. And I took care of him for close to 3 years. Wonderful. And the place, memory care unit, I think it's beautiful how they did that. It's not like a hospital setting. It's like in a circle. People should visit it. It's really nice.
Agreed. I agree with you, and thank you for sharing your experience. Obviously, these units are very specialized. They're highly staffed, especially at V. Some people will still contend that we don't staff high enough, but we have the industry data and we staff well. We try to stay on top, and I'm glad that there was a good experience there. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. Every case is a little bit different, but our goal is to provide superior care. Thank you. Just to repeat, and thank you. So she stated here that there's some family members who are physicians and they were shocked at, in a good way, right? So that was the comment. Thank you very much. I'm going to turn the time over to our chair, and thank you very much. I'll stay for a few minutes. If you have questions, Chef will stay as well. Thank you very much.
I do want to clarify one thing. I had a resident just after Canvas was announced who insisted that we had named the memory care unit Cannabis. And it, about a 15-minute conversation, but it's not cannabis, Canvas, paying attention up there on 1960. Thank you all for coming. We'll look forward to seeing you in April. We're adjourned.